This is the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. Verse 23. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. My brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 22 through 23, is that I came across this article today where it's being reported how in Japan they had to deploy the military to counter a surge in bear attacks. Okay? So, hey, this is judgment. Okay? And it reminded me of Job chapter 5, verse 22 through 23, because the Lord uses animals, all right, to judge the people, all right, to judge these different nations. And of course, our nation, the Israelites, okay, because when Elisha was made fun of, all right, by these children, all right, Elisha put a curse. You know, I'll get it because I have the account right here. I might as well read it. All right. So this is when Elisha took over Elijah's spot regarding as being the prophet. Okay. For the northern kingdom. Okay. And he went to Bethel, all right, and it accounts right here. It says in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 23, and he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him. You see that? In Bethel. In fact, let me just qualify that Bethel was a territory of Northern Kingdom during the time of Elisha. Was Bethel a territory of Northern Kingdom during the time of Elisha? Yeah, there it is. And this is the AI overview. It says, yes, Bethel was a key religious center and a major city in the northern kingdom Israel during the time of Elisha. You see that? After the division of the United Kingdom, Jeroboam the first king of the northern kingdom, established Bethel as one of the two chief sanctuaries, the other being Dan, to prevent his people from going to the temple in Jerusalem, the capital of the southern kingdom, Judah. He set up a golden calf there, making it a center of apostate worship for the northern kingdom. Right, and that's why the Lord judged the northern kingdom first, because the northern kingdom was given over to heavy idolatry. Scriptures say Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Roughly paraphrasing it. So there you go. All right. So Bethel was a territory of the northern kingdom, and this is the account. All right. I just wanted to quantify and just make sure that that the historical timeline is on point, and that's something we do here at Great Millstone through the spirit power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. All right, we fact check everything, like the apostle elders always say. We analyze everything. Okay, All right. If you call yourself a prophet to the nation of Israel, you got to be on point. Okay. You got to, as we always say, you got to have 100% truth. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 23. So it goes on and says, and he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head. All right, so these little demon Israelites, okay, little demonic babies, kids, from the northern kingdom, all right, were mocking Elisha. All right, now look what Elisha said. All right, they mocked his head for just being bald. All right, so this is you scoffers and you scorners that come against us at GMS. Man, this should put fear in your heart. All right, because watch what Elisha does. Okay, 24. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord. Right? He put a curse on them in the name of the Lord. All right? What he said was, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, curse these children. Okay? And what did the Lord do? And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 42 children of them. Right? All right? This is why the prophets are supposed to be revered and feared. Okay? Because they represent Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's why you scoffers and you scorners, okay, that come against us at GMS, okay, the Lord watching, all right? And it's only a matter of time. So there's the account, all right? So, and again, while the Lord sends these animals against these other nations and, of course, our own nation, all right, these animals are not going to touch us. All right. Okay. If we are part of the elect, that's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect. All right. And we have, as we get closer to the return of Yahweh Shai, all right, who the world only calls Jesus, all right, our confidence is being built up because we're clearly see that the Lord is dealing with us. All right. Because we're the only ones bringing out the truth of the scriptures, okay? We're the only ones bringing out facts, okay? We're the only ones bringing out prophecies. You see a lot of these pseudo-Hebrew Israelite camps, all right? They are just really teaching for hire, for money, okay? They're getting into these different podcast debates, all right? They're totally avoiding the MOTB, the RFID chip, okay? Or they're speaking contrary to what we're speaking, all right? You got certain Israelite camps that are not pushing the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai as the forefront of their ministry, all right? Then you got certain Israelite camps that tell their congregation to go take a jab, okay? An experimental jab, all right? And also say Jacob's trouble is gay. All right, and that's talking to Captain Tazariak. I'm never going to forget that statement. Jacob's trouble is gay. We're in Jacob's trouble, okay? Then you see ICE running around, smacking Northern Kingdom around, okay? You see the National Guard being deployed, all right, by January 2026, okay? To all the 50 states. Well, what's all that about, okay? And that National Guard is the quick reaction force, and their sole purpose, all right, is to go against those that are engaging in civil unrest and civil disobedience, okay? And then, all right, you have the ongoing wars that we here at Great Millstone through the Spirit and Power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai talking about, all right? World War III, which is being ratcheted up. All right, that's why the Lord is going to judge a lot of you wicked Israelites, and he's going to use even animals to judge you, all right? Because they're not going to be at peace with you, all right? Like they're going to be at peace, all right, with the elect, okay, that are doing the right thing. So let's get into this article. Japan deploys the military to counter a surge in bear attacks. It goes on and says, Japan deploys troop Wednesday to help contain a surge of bear attacks that have terrorized residents in a mountainous region in the northern prefecture of Akita. Okay? Hey, this is from Associated Press. You can't get any more facts with this, all right? All right, and that's something that I like to do personally. I like to go to these news media, okay, articles, all right, where the majority of the people can say, yeah, this is from a credible source, all right, and then I like using it against, okay, all these scoffers and scorners and these people that talk shit. All right, that's just how I get down. I love using their media. All right, this is actually a warfare, psychological warfare. Okay, because again, how do you buck up against this article? This ain't some TikTok AI video. This is straight from the horse's mouth. Associated Press. Okay. Reports of sometimes deadly encounters with brown bears and Asiatic black bears are being reported almost daily ahead of the hibernation season as the bears forage for food. Right, so there's a lack of bread in Japan, okay, for these animals, all right? So these animals are getting more aggressive, okay? And it's all set up through the Spirit power Yahweh Shem Shai to bring forth judgment, all right, and show his power. They have been seen near schools, train stations, supermarkets, and at Hot Springs Resort. Since April, more than 100 people have been injured and at least 12 killed in bear attacks across Japan, according to the Environment Ministry statistics at the end of October. Right, and then China had to close this. Bear me one moment. China had to issue a new travel advisory for Japan as wildlife attacks soared to unprecedented levels, urging tourists to stay alert in risk areas. Yeah. Okay. So, again, hey, this is judgment from the Lord. Okay. And just like he judged our people with those she-bears, all right, when they were going off back in antiquity, he's doing it again. All right, sending these bears out on these heathens. And of course, all right, these bears are coming for you wicked jakes. All right, I guarantee if I do some research over the past 10 years, there have been some bear attacks where Jake was being judged. All right, so let me bring this scripture out. This is a milk scripture because this reminded me. Because who is orchestrating all these bear attacks in Japan? The Lord, okay? He kills and makes alive. So this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30. These are the basics, man, okay? This is what keeps you in the pocket, all right? And fearing the Lord, okay? And keeps you, humbled, all right? Because any of us, like down here in South Florida, okay? You have snakes, different size of snakes. You have alligators. You have Florida panthers. Okay. You have all different sizes of lizards. Okay. And the beloved elder from Connecticut, Elder Benatazak, all right, he was eyewitness. He's like, man, there's a whole bunch of lizards, a whole bunch of wildlife down here that you can visibly see. It's like, yeah. And he saw a whole bunch of lizards and different size iguanas. All right, the Lord can eat. Like again, the Lord. Once again, the Lord can use these animals. All right, to get you jakes. All right, if He wanted to, He's done it before, and He could do it again. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there's no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. There you go. Okay. Another one. Back to the basics. These are the basics. This is what keeps you in the pocket. This is what keeps you being humbled. You got a lot of these jakes that fell out the truth. Okay. Fell out the truth. All right. How can you fall out the truth? All right, when scriptures like this should be at the forefront of your mind. But guess what? You know what it was? You lacked faith, okay, and you're not part of the elect. That's just what it is. All right, and it's just the Lord confirming and showing us, like, this is why you got to fear him, all right, and think upon him daily. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Right, the Lord creates evil, okay? He sends what is evil? Bad times, daily, all right? You got upstate New York, all right, in Sullivan County. I'm familiar with this county. My stepfather, he has a house in Sullivan County. All right, but look, there's reports of rabies animals attacking again. Okay, animals just attacking people throughout Sullivan County. Right, it was Sullivan County Department of Public Health confirmed to Hudson Valley Post that a raccoon in the Livingston Manor area tested positive for rabies virus. Animals are tested after having contact with the human, officials say. This marks the fourth human exposure incident involving a laboratory-confirmed positive animal this year. The Sullivan County Department of Public Health reports. Right, okay? So, yeah. Again, this is why you got to fear the Lord. The Lord's constantly bringing out his judgment. You have an American father and son die after being stung over 100 times by swarm of wasps while ziplining in Laos. Okay, and this reminds me of the account of Joshua. You know, the Lord sent the hornets to take out the enemies of the Israelites. All right, before commanding Joshua to go. Well, wait. Let me rephrase this. The Lord sent the hornets, okay, before Joshua and his army, all right, to weaken, okay, the enemies, okay, that we had while we were taking the land. In fact, I got the account right here, okay, because Joshua was commissioned to go to war against these different heathens. All right, and so the Lord used the animal, used animals, his creation, like a hornets, all right, to weaken the enemy before Joshua and the Israelite army came in, all right, and slaughtered them. So this is Exodus chapter 23, verse 23. For mine angel, look, you see the capital A, all right, that's Yahushai, okay? They won't, that's how you know Yahushai was always been here from the beginning, okay? Who the world English calls Jesus, all right? He's the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, all right? For my angel shall go before thee and bring thee in unto the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. 24, thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. Right, so you're not supposed to. We were commanded to not worship these different gods. All right, this is in the law. All right, so this is why we're all our people are all jacked up now. The bulk of them. Okay, and then us as a nation, because we went off. We were serving these different gods. That's why the Lord punished us by using these heathens and animals. Okay, all right. But now the Lord raised up, okay, his men, all right, to bring out the truth. All right, which God to worship? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel. Exodus chapter 23, verse 25. And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. Right. And I can't wait to the kingdom of heaven. All right. Because that's when we'll never be sick. And we'll never have to worry about eating defiled bread and defiled water. Okay. We're like, that should motivate our people to seek the Lord 10 times more, man. Like we're the food and the water we drink is defiled, all right. And then of course it come and and also the sicknesses, okay? The viruses and diseases, all right? And you know this devil is spraying us like a bug with the geoengineering, the chemtrails, all right? This is why we want the kingdom. This is why we want to get the hell up out of here, all right? 26. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land, and the number of the days I will fulfill. Right, this is going to be in the kingdom. All right, because look what it says in the NLT version. There will be no miscarriages or infertility in your land, and I will give you long, full lives. You see that? All right. 27. I will send my fear before thee, and I will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thy enemies turn their backs onto thee. You see that? Here's the point. 20. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite and the Canaanite and the Hittite from before thee. You see that? 29. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the base of the field multiply against thee. All right, this is what happens when you serve the Lord, man. Okay? If you serve the Lord, the animals will be at peace with you. All right? And that's why we can't wait to the kingdom of heaven, because these animals are going to be 100% at peace with us. Okay? Because even now, sometimes you might get a mosquito bite. Shit happens, like mosquito bite or maybe a bee sting. All right, and that's just the Lord bringing out correction and just letting you know that, hey, don't get comfortable. You're not in the kingdom of heaven yet. All right, but when we get into the kingdom of heaven, all right, hey, we don't have to worry about no bee stings, no animals, no nothing that will come against us. All right, just like when we were in our homeland, when we were in our land, okay, the animals were at peace with us for a period of time. But then when we went off, that's when the Lord sent the animals. What does it say in NLT version? But I will not drive them out in a single year, because the land will become desolate and the wild animals will multiply and threaten you. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and let's do cross-reference, because this is the book of Joshua. Okay, so, and this is the book of Joshua. This is the account of when Joshua went over Jordan with the armies, right? And I'll read it right now. It says, Joshua chapter 24, verse 11, and ye went over Jordan and came out to Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Girzites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, all heathens, and I will deliver them into your hand. 12, and I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out before you, even to king of Amorites, but not with thy sword, nor with thy bow. 13, and I have given you a land for which ye did not labor, and cities which ye built not, and ye dwell in them, of the vineyards and olive yards which ye planted not do ye eat. Right, so there you go. So the Lord sent the hornets to drive them out of the area, okay? And then, of course, to weaken them out of that area, because Joshua did go to a war campaign against these different heathens, okay? Because look, just make it quickly, all right? How many nations did Joshua conquer? Joshua conquered the lands of 31 kings west of the Jordan River. These were not always single nations, but rather various rulers of cities and territories of the land of Canaan. In addition to these 31, Joshua and the Israelites also defeated the king of Sihon and Og, okay, east of the Jordan, bringing the total number of kings defeated under the leadership of Moses and Joshua to 33. Maybe that's the reason why the elites, they always use 33, all right, to mock, to go against what we did to get our land. The 7 nations Canaan. The conquest was not a single campaign against a unified country, but a series of battles against multiple Canaanite groups, including the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, Jebusites, Hivites, Perizzites, and Girzites, as outlined in the Bible. Right, and this is the map of Joshua going in, all right, to these 7 nations, all right. And again, the Lord paved the way by sending those hornets, all right, to weaken them, to drive them out of particular areas, and to bring down their morale, all right. This was a war tactic, okay. That's why the scriptures say the Lord, what is it, Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Okay? So, hey, this is all done for us to get the land. All right? But it's also a book of remembrance to see how the Lord will fight for us and protect us. And even these animals will be at league with us. Okay? When these heathens come up. All right? So get ready, man. When these troops come in, hey, the Lord can easily use a bear, a lion, all right, to take these heathens out. They come when they come against us, okay. And again, when these animals begin to terrorize these communities, these different cities, all right, they're going to be at peace with us once again, because that's what the scriptures say. Only believe, okay. So I'll read this one more time. Job chapter 5 verse 22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, right? Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, right? And notice how famine and destruction is associated with the beasts of the earth, because when there's a famine in the land, the bears get hungry. If they can't find food, then they're going to go after people, okay? 23. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, right? Let's go. Like I said before, I want to bring out some, Hebrew in my lessons, okay? This is a ba. Let's bring this up. This is a ba. This is a ra. This is a ya. This is a tha. Barath. Barath-yath. 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 Okay? Which means a covenant, alliance, pledge. Right. So the animals are going to be in alliance with the elect. Okay? And ultimately all of Israel when we're being brought back to our homeland. Okay? And the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. All right? You should know what peace is, all right? It's shalom, okay? Or we like to say shalom, okay? But this shalom, which means to be in a covenant of peace, be at peace, right? Same thing. Alliance, peace. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. Again, got through a little bit of a historical accounts, all right? And just to edify the point that, hey, the animals are going to tear and maim, all right, these heathens and these wicked jakes that don't want to repent. But there's a counter. There's a balance. The animals will be at peace with the elect, and even will defend the elect, as I showed with the hornet. Okay, the hornets were from the Lord. Okay, so Lord willing, this lesson edify. I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the 4 corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep enduring, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying, pray without ceasing, pray for each other, pray for the apostles, elders. We're almost out of here. To the fuses that are watching, keep studying. When you pray, picture head cover. Shalom, and you already know Shalom.